In April 2014, GT 6,825 tons ferry MVS was busily getting ready to depart on a voyage. It was going to be a 13-hour trip, but the ferry was full of excitement. There it was, carrying 476 passengers, including high school students, and combined with loads of cargo, setting sail out.
다들 엄청 신나 있었어요. 학기 시작된 지도 얼마 되지 않은 시점에서 저희 학년 친구들과 다 함께 가는 거였잖아요. 제주도로 간다고 해서 되게 좋아했었는데 분위기도 좋았고 들떠서 잠도 못 잘 정도였죠.
After some hours, the day dawned, and MVS entered Mengol Channel near Jindo. Just like any other day, the ferry began to alter her course as usual. At that time, the third mate on duty and ordered the quartermaster to turn 5 degrees. A moment later, the third mate realized that the Fickle was too far to the right and ordered him to turn to the port side. However, her Fickle continued turning to the starboard side, and then she heeled to port side. It happened so quickly that the crew panicked. With the crew panicking, things got worse quickly, spiraling out of control. The passengers had no idea what was happening and grew frightened as the ferry tilted.
갑자기 선체가 기울어지는 느낌이 들었어요. 너무 놀라서 무슨 일일까 싶었는데 곧 안내방송이 나오더라고요. 너무 움직이면 위험하니까 선실에 가만히 있으라고요. 그래서 시키는 대로 선실에 그냥 남아 있었습니다. 그땐 그 방법이 최선이라고 생각했어요.
Things continued to worsen, but the crew didn't know what to do. They repeated the announcement, urging the passengers to stay in their cabins. Time passed and still no action. The water began to rise inside the vessel, and the cabin situation turned into a nightmare.
어느 순간 급격히 물이 불었어요. 진짜 한순간이었습니다. 근데 뭐 아무런 대피 방송도 없고 대처가 전혀 이루어지지 않은 거예요. 가만히 있다가 그대로 가라앉겠구나 싶어서 바로 탈출하기 시작했습니다.
Led by some people who were aware of the risk, many people tried to evacuate the ship, but it was not easy to escape her, that had already heeled over. While many struggled to find their way out of the death trap, the Coast Guard had answered the call for help, and they approached the sinking ship with nearby fishing boats. But the Coast Guard arrived too late. The leaning ferry was sinking fast. Only the passengers who had left the ship on their own survived the tragedy. That day, only 172 were rescued. And among the rescued were the captain and the crew, who should have stayed on board to the end. While these irresponsible individuals escaped without helping the passengers, those who waited for the captain's orders sank with the Ferry S. Indeed, many of those who attempted escape failed. And this horrible tragedy still haunts the nation today. An investigation conducted by the Korean Maritime Safety Tribunal identified 5 causes for the accident. The addition of extra cabins had weakened the stability of the ship. The cargo capacity was reduced from 2,437 tons to 987 tons. At this capacity, the ballast water had to increase from 307 tons to 1,703 tons. However, the ferry was loaded extra 1,156 tons of cargo. while the ballast water was 982 tons less. These were far short of the stability requirements. Moreover, as fuel and water was used during the navigation, the decrease in weight made the ship even weaken the stability. Right before the incident, the ferry used unnecessary large angle or maintained a rudder angle for a long time, resulting in a severe starboard turn. The centrifugal force unbalanced the ship, which heeled 15 to 20 degrees to the port side. After the ferry heeled to the port side, first the unfixed containers and other cargo shifted suddenly to the heeling side of the ship. As the heeling was getting worse, most of the cargo eventually slid or fell off the port side of the vessel. In the ship, heeling caused the freight to move and the center of gravity moved with it, threatening to weaken stability. Next, through the openings, seawater began to pour into the ship. Finally, the ship completely heeled to the port side, capsized, and sank. The crew members did not guide the passengers to muster stations or have them abandon the ship. Because of this, hundreds of innocent lives were lost at sea.
안전 항해를 위해서는 선박에 충분한 부력과 보건성이 있어야 합니다. 과적을 하게 되면 선박의 부력이 작아져서 침몰 위험이 있습니다. 화물을 위에다가 많이 싣게 되면 보건성이 작아져서 선박이 경사되었을 때 제자리로 돌아오지 못하게 됩니다. 출항 전 선박의 보건성을 갖추는 것, 화물의 고박 상태를 확인하는 것, 이 모두 선장의 최종 책임하에 있습니다. 선장은 항상 사고 상황을 염두에 두고 선박을 운항해야 하며 사고 발생 시 제1안, 이것이 안 되면 제2안, 이렇게 처리 방침을 항상 가지고 있어야 하겠습니다.
When a ship begins to sink, the captain must make quick decisions. He must notify the crew and passengers and perform waterproofing, drainage, and isolating the submerged section. If such action cannot be taken, he must sound the alarm and announce orders to all passengers to put on life jackets and assemble at a muster station. Once the passengers are wearing life jackets, they are to be guided to the upper deck as quickly as possible. In the meantime, the captain must use VHF or other means to call 122 and report to the Coast Guard that the ship is sinking and people are already abandoning ship. Depending on the weather, use smoke or a flare to show your location. In an emergency, use the lifeboats and life rafts on the ship to evacuate passengers. When using a life raft, find the safety pin first and tilt it back to remove the pin from its place. Make sure the painter to the life raft is secured to the ship. Throw the life raft into the water and use the painter to pull it next to the ship. The carbon dioxide cylinder will activate and inflate the life raft quickly. Use the ladder to go down to the life raft in an orderly manner. Cut the painter and row as far away as possible from the ship.
해양수산부에서는 연안여객선 안전 강화를 위해 2015년 7월 1일부터 일정 규모 이상의 여객선에 탈출 설비를 추가하는 한편 항해자료 기록장치 VDR을 탑재할 것을 골자로 하는 선박 설비 기준을 개정 고시하였습니다. 이와 함께 해양수산부는 여객선에 적재 운송되는 차량과 화물의 고박 기준 역시 대폭 강화했는데요. 2015년 7월 1일부터는 탑재되는 차량과 화물의 고정 개소를 최소 4곳 이상으로 하고 컨테이너 화물의 경우 내 모서리를 고정하는 등 1단과 2단에 따라 고정 방법을 구체적으로 정해야 합니다. 고박 설비 강도는 기존 횡유각 20도에서 25도로 25% 강화되었으며 1,000톤 이상 여객선의 고박 설비는 추가로 20%를 비치하여 운항해야 합니다. 더욱 강화되는 법만큼이나 우리 선원 여러분의 안전의식도 더욱 강화됐으면 하는 바람입니다.